What would you think if a $2,000 phone didn't open completely flat? That's the concern some people have after checking out the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 in stores. While Samsung proudly calls it the thinnest and lightest foldable phone they've ever made, some early hands-on impressions have raised questions. According to reports, a few people visiting stores noticed that the Galaxy Z Fold 7 doesn't open all the way flat, which is unusual for a high-end foldable. Naturally, this made some customers wonder if there's a design flaw in the new hinge. Now, to be fair, demo units in stores go through a lot. They're opened and closed constantly, and that kind of handling could wear out the hinge faster than normal. The Galaxy Z Fold 6 was rated for 200,000 folding and unfolding cycles, and we expect the Fold 7 to match or even exceed that. Still, it's hard to ignore when people say the phone looks slightly bent or off-center. The Fold 7 uses Samsung's new Armor Flex hinge, a redesigned hinged system that's supposed to be thinner and stronger. It includes aluminum in the hinge housing to make it more durable and improve resistance to bending or damage. But it's possible that the new hinge design is so firm that it takes a little more force to open the phone fully. In fact, during one hands-on test, Samsung's own representative mentioned that it took some effort to open the Fold 7, but they didn't blame the hinge, just the thinner body making it harder to grip. That's another part of the story. By making the device thinner, Samsung may have unintentionally made it trickier to open, especially if you're using one hand or don't have a strong grip. And if customers are struggling with the display not lying fully flat or seeing misalignment between the two sides when folded, it's understandable that they're concerned. After all, when you're spending $2,000 on a smartphone, everything is expected to work perfectly. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 will officially begin shipping on July 25th, so most people haven't even used their own units yet. It's entirely possible that the issue is limited to store display phones that have been overused, or maybe some people just aren't applying enough pressure when opening it. But if this problem turns out to be widespread, it could be a major headache for Samsung. Even small issues can turn into big problems when the price tag is this high. For now, there's no official word from Samsung about the hinge complaints. It could all come down to a learning curve with the new design. Users may simply need to get used to the way the thinner Fold 7 opens. Or Samsung might need to fine-tune things further in future versions. The design changes in the Fold 7 are impressive, no doubt. It's lighter, slimmer, and looks more modern than ever. What if your Galaxy Z Flip phone could run full apps right on its cover screen without needing to open it every time? That's exactly what many users are doing now, especially those using the Galaxy Z Flip 6, the more affordable Galaxy Z Flip 7 Fe, and the flagship Galaxy Z Flip 7. These phones already come with bigger cover screens that show time, notifications, and a few widgets. But by default, Samsung doesn't let you run all your favorite apps on that mini display. This can be frustrating when you just want to quickly reply to a message or check something without flipping the phone open. Luckily, Samsung has its own tool called Good Lock, and inside that app, there's a plugin named Multi-Star. With this plugin, you can add any app you like to the cover screen. You simply open Good Lock, switch to the Plugins tab, install Multi-Star, then go to the iGalaxy Foldable section and choose Launcher Widget. After that, you just select the apps you want to use, then go into your phone's settings, tap on cover screen, and add the Multi-Star launcher as one of the widgets. Now, when you fold your phone, swipe left on the cover screen until you reach this launcher, and boom, your selected apps are there, working like they would on the main display. This works best on the Galaxy Z Flip 7 because it has a much wider and taller outer display than the older Flip 5, making it much easier to tap, scroll, and even type. While it also works on the Flip 5, you'll need to update it to Android 16 or Samsung's One UI 7 software. On the Flip 7, the experience is smoother. Buttons are easier to tap, and if an app's content gets hidden behind the cameras, the phone automatically adjusts the layout to move it into view. Typing is much more comfortable too. You can now hold the phone with both hands and type messages or search in apps without struggling. You can watch videos, scroll through social media, read emails, or check directions, all without ever opening the phone. This makes the Flip 7 feel way more practical for everyday use. However, not every app works perfectly. Games, for example, can feel cramped or awkward unless they are simple ones. But for regular apps like messaging, maps, and media, the cover screen is a time saver. It's honestly a big shift in how you use the device. It's no longer just a small screen for quick glances, it becomes a real part of your everyday phone use. This tiny but smart trick changes how you interact with your foldable phone and makes the Galaxy Z Flip 7 stand out as more than just a good-looking gadget. If you have one of these phones and haven't tried this yet, Samsung might finally be gearing up for a camera upgrade that actually surprises fans, and this time it could be a big one. A new leak coming from Fixed Focus Digital on Weibo claims that the upcoming Galaxy S26 Ultra might ditch Samsung's in-house 200-megapixel sensor in favor of a brand new Sony-made 200-megapixel sensor, and not just any sensor, but one that measures 1.1 inches. That would be a noticeable jump from the 1.3-inch sensor used in the current Galaxy S25 Ultra, which, despite its high resolution, didn't really wow anyone in terms of image quality this year. This new sensor could push the S26 Ultra closer to phones with 1-inch sensors like the Oppo Find X8 Ultra or Xiaomi 13 Pro. That means more light, more depth, and possibly a major leap in low-light performance and detailed cropped zoom shots. If this plays out, Samsung might finally deliver full-resolution 200MP photos that don't feel like a gimmick. Of course, we have to take it all with some skepticism because Samsung has always relied on its own camera tech for the Ultra series. And Sony hasn't even released a 200MP sensor for smartphones yet, at least not publicly. But rumors have been floating since March that Sony is working on a sensor exactly like this, and it might be time for them to challenge Samsung's dominance in high-megapixel smartphone imaging. What makes this even more interesting is that Samsung has been playing it safe lately. The S25 Ultra launch earlier this year left many fans underwhelmed, with barely any meaningful hardware changes and a lot of copy-paste from previous models. That's why a big shift like this, not just more megapixels, but a larger sensor from Sony, could be a sign that Samsung is ready to shake things up again. It also raises the stakes for early 2026, when the S26 Ultra is expected to be announced. If true, this could put the S26 Ultra in a stronger position against rivals who have been pushing the camera envelope while Samsung focused more on AI and incremental changes. Interestingly, Samsung's own camera strategy has been very controlled, and switching to Sony, even for just one component, would signal a change in mindset. The company seems to be listening, or at least recognizing that it can't keep releasing Ultra phones without Ultra improvements. With the Z Fold 7 and Z Flip 7 showing real upgrades this year, perhaps Samsung is taking the feedback seriously and lining up a real treat for S-series fans. Still, we haven't heard anything about changes to the other cameras on the S26 Ultra, so that's something to watch out for. Will we see better zoom, a new ultra-wide lens, or maybe improved video stabilization?